Ryan. His shot. They score. They tie the game up 2-2.
Some drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money. This is Taya Hansen for three. Other side of the rim with a pretty reverse.
Wow.
5 seconds to go. Find Hawk. Hawk spins. It rolls off. And Arizona State wins it. Edward pulls off and buries the puck.
Daniels takes this shot for Kirby.
Oh my God.
And welcome into Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caracino at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter. Yes, as you all know it, you can see the show live there every day. Also, my IG, Michael.Caracino.5, and you know it, Pitchfork Lunchers, the YouTube channel. Again, you missed a lot of great sound from spring football, great interviews with coaches, players, all that good stuff. Go to the YouTube channel. Missed a great interview with Chris Cartman to start the week off, talking spring ball, what this football team can look like. It's early in spring ball, but what it can look like, and obviously where they're going. But interviews with Chris. I got more coaches coming up too. So again, go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Yes, I would love you here with me every day, 12 to 1 live. But, hey, if you can't be, unfortunately, because you're working, you can always go back and binge watch. That's the cool part about it. So go to YouTube, and then you can go to my channel. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat, 005 at MVC005 on the good old YouTube, and subscribe. Because, like I said, you got a lot to catch up on. You have a ton to catch up on. But that's all right, because, hey, you can get caught up on it. So that being said, what a game last night Phoenix, but right there on the Tempe border, right? Can't say you're a Phoenix Muni and be in Tempe, right? But nonetheless, Sun Devil baseball comes through against Grand Canyon, gets the exciting walk-off victory over the Antelopes. They went down early. It was 2-0 going into the bottom of the third. And then ASU put up 5 in the bottom of the third, 1 in the bottom of the fourth. They're up 6-2. Nobody scores in the fifth. Grand Canyon gets 2 in the sixth to make it 6-4. And then they get 4 in the top of the seventh to make it 8-6. And then in the bottom of the seventh is hugely important. ASU got 1 back, made it 8-7. And then both teams go zeros in the eighth. They keep Grand Canyon off the board in the ninth, and they walk it off. They walk it off with and get the 9-8 win. Harris Williams, ball dropped into left center, and he came in as a pinch hitter later in the game. And again, just talking about passing the bats, and it happened there in the, like I said, in the third inning, and even to get 1 in the fourth. I mean, it's huge. And then that 1 in the seventh, and is inevitably ends up being a difference because they get 2 in the ninth, and instead of needing, if they didn't get those 2 runs, it would have been it would have been 8-5, and they would have been obviously 1 run short in the ninth if it held up like that. But man, what a heck of a performance. Again, we'll hear from Willie Bloomquist on this. We'll also hear from Harris Williams, Kian Vu, and Nick McLean, who was 3 for 5 last night, was McLean. Had an RBI, scored 2 runs. Kian Vu was 2 for 5 last night, and he scored 2 runs and had 2 RBIs as well. So again, and I played it yesterday, that from Saturday, and Kian Vu being in the lineup, getting more at bats, moving around. I mean, it is a crowded outfield, like Coach Bloomquist has said. It is a very crowded outfield with, you have somebody like Isaiah Jackson in center field, Nick McLean, in right. Ryan Campos started the night in left field last night, and we saw him do that last year, coming off being hurt, and again, wanting to ease into behind the plate, but he led off and he was in left field. And then when Harris Williams pinch hit for Trey Newman, again, who got some action behind the plate last night, Campos went to catcher, and then Harris Williams went to left field. So look, it's exciting. I mean, it was an exciting game. Grand Canyon again got up, and again, it's not always going to be pretty, and you'll hear from him. But again, once again, a team got up on him, but that's now 5. Yes, 5 in a row for the Devils. 5, yes, just the 5 for ASU. But nonetheless, again, a huge victory there. And so very stoked for, again, the baseball team, as they are now 15-14 overall, so above 500, still 6-6 in Pac-12 play. Obviously, that's not a conference game. And now they head up to Corvallis to take on the number 5 team in the Corvallis to take on the number 5 team in the country in Oregon State. So, look, they're going in with confidence. They know they have to battle, keep playing. And again, like I said, we'll hear from Coach Bloomquist coming up shortly. But yeah, it is again, huge victory for them, and 5 in a row, building confidence going into Oregon State, which again, you're unique because it is a very, very good team. And I'll touch on that a little bit later, and more so tomorrow as well. But and I also let you know yesterday that obviously on Monday, the men's swim and dive team are national champs. They won the first ever national title, and now Coach Bowman literally headed to Texas to take over the team there after longtime legendary coach was it Bob Reese retired. 46 seasons, and yeah, that's definitely no bummer, or definitely a bummer for ASU. I shouldn't say no bummer because Coach Bowman again just building it back up and everything. And yeah, it's a again, going to the story programs won many national titles, but still in Sun Devil country. But they're in good hands, and again, probably going to lose a few to Texas because of course they want to work with Coach Bowman, and you can't blame them for that. Well, the women's lacrosse team also been a minute. They had a little bit of Pac-12 struggles. They lost to San Diego State 17-9 back on St. Patty's Day. And then on the 23rd, that next Saturday, they took on USC, and they lost 16-7 at home. And they went to Stanford to take on number 20 Stanford and lost 20-8. But they take on Detroit Mercy in Michigan, and they win 17-3. So that, again, very awesome to see. To see that. And now coming up this Saturday at noon, they are taking on Cal in a conference game at the soccer/lacrosse field, which is, again, right around the corner from Club Farrington. So, yes, that is Saturday at noon. They will be taking on Cal, and then next Friday they take on Colorado. They go to Boulder, and then they will stay there. And on Sunday, take on Denver in a non-conference matchup, but taking on Denver University. And then Saturday the 20th, they get to go up to Eugene and take on the Ducks. And then Senior Day will be April 27th. That's Saturday at noon, and they take on UC Davis in a conference matchup. So, yes, I know I said San Diego State and UC Davis, obviously trying to form conferences even out west for, women's lacrosse as it grew, and obviously ASU added lacrosse. But yes, they are 6-6 overall, 1-2 in conference play, 4-3 at home, 2-3 away. But yeah, it's like I said, it's such a exciting, awesome sport to watch. So if you haven't been out there, again, you got to try it. You definitely got to try and get out to check this team out. But yeah, this Saturday at noon. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, and Taryn Van Thoff, the head coach, who again came from Florida and all the way to Arizona State. So, and very talented player in and of herself. Her assistant coaches are Caroline Wakefield and Haley Warden. Um, but yeah, like I said, 6-6 overall. Water polo also will be here this weekend. Little news and notes as we rip around Sun Devil Nation. Water polo has a conference game this Saturday as well, but yes, this Saturday too. You can go to Lacrosse first, and then actually no, I think they're both at the same time. Yeah, as they take on Cal at noon. But let me check just to make sure. If they are at the same time, because they're both home on Saturday. I know that. And with baseball and softball hitting the road, it gives you a chance. Like I said, softball will be at Stanford, and then baseball up in Corvallis taking on Oregon State. So yeah, 21-6 overall for this water. Again, phenomenal season. Very, very solid season to this point. Very solid. Oh no, it is Saturday at 1. So yes, at the Mona Plummer Aquatic Center. So you can go, go check out Lacrosse, and then, head over to the Mona Plummer Aquatic Center, or either one. But they also have their senior day for water polo is the 13th, and they'll be taking on conference foe USC. And that is senior day there as well. So on the 13th, but this Saturday, the 6th, it is at 1 p.m. So you can mix it up. Go check out a little bit of lacrosse. Go check out a little bit of water polo, because it's absolutely awesome. It is, again, just such a great sport to see live. But yeah, and then yesterday with spring ball, again, saw a lot out there. We heard from Jordan Tyson. I look forward to catching up also with Kyson Brown, the sophomore now, running back, SIP as they call him. But yeah, hearing from Jordan Tyson yesterday, again, just feeling good, like he said, and being out there, and that receiver room. I mean, you add him, and we saw what he did as a freshman at CU. Just absolutely was a ridiculously insane season for Jordan Tyson. And then last year, again, getting actually to at least get some game action in at the end of the season, coming back, just going through it now, man, just raring to go. And that receiver room, obviously, like I said, with an Elijah Badger, with an ex Guillory, and then obviously himself, Troy O'Meary, Melquan Stovall looks really good. Jake Smith is back. So again, you hear it's like, man, and like I say, there's only one ball, but believe me, there'll be enough. If things are going good, there'll be enough rotation and enough spreading of the ball to make this team dangerous and inevitably get wins. And that make everybody happy, because that's what it's about. Like Coach Dillingham says, it's people want to win, and you come to win. You don't go into a game first year or not. Like when you took over last year and people say, well, you want to see this, like, yeah, from an outside standpoint, but you're preparing to win. You're not preparing, oh, well, we're just going to grow in this game or that. And it always reminds me, Pitchfork Lunchers, of that great line from Bull Durham when he's like, I hate winning or I hate losing. Like more than I like winning. That's the way, like, it just, Nuke says it ridiculously funny, but it's true. I mean, you just hate losing, and when it comes to that, that's the frustration. So, but yeah, look, this offense with what they can be, and like talking to Chris again on Monday. Again, if you missed that conversation, go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to it, because believe me, there's a lot of depth there. There's a lot to digest. And again, spring ball's got to keep going forward. We'll have practice number 5 tomorrow. So yeah, that's one of those things where you look at both sides of the ball and growth, and then, even some guys coming in that'll be here, in the summer, and then obviously for fall camp. But it's looking like an energetic bunch that, especially for the guys that were around last year that are, and people say it's cliche, they're extra hungry to prove themselves and, turning around. But going into obviously a new conference, like we talked about, that is that. But so again, a little more to get to. So I'll dive into it. And like I said, softball is headed to Stanford. Yeah, just Stanford, right? Yeah, because Utah's here. Or did I get that backwards? Everybody, yeah. Once teams start conference play, it just all becomes a mix and a blur. I mean, I do straighten it out. So, and again, they're coming off of, almost a little bit of a, rest week. Not that they weren't working, but it's a bye week, I should say, not rest, but a bye week. They had that doubleheader last Wednesday at USD, which they split. And then, they're 18-15 overall, 16-9 at home, liking that. Again, like to expand that a little more, but they haven't been home in a minute. With 2-7 in conference play, and man, this trip to, Stanford, who's number 8 in the country, have your work cut out for you. But does this team have the pitching to do it? And the defense as well. I mean, look, defensively, this team for Coach Bartlett, and, it's one thing when people talk about hitting, but I think rightfully so. But when a coach comes in, I mean, you got to – the one thing, is definitely like, shoring up the defense. Not, the old adage, not kicking the ball all over the infield on, routine plays and going from there. So they take on number 8 Stanford. Baseball takes on number 5 Oregon State. I mean, that just that's not a bummer. So I love it. Love the competition, and love when obviously forks up. Let's go, Devils, take them down. So, but I'm going to step aside, and when we get back, we will hear from the guys from last night. Baseball will hear from like I said, Harris Williams, Kean Vu, and Nick McLean. And then we'll hear from Willie Bloomquist as well. So we'll step aside. Don't go too far. Enjoy more of your lunch. Any questions you got, again, hit me up on X at Diablo00. Leave some comments. Whatever, I'll get to you. It's all good like that. But we'll step aside, and we'll dive into baseball's awesome, exciting victory last night at Phoenix Muni.
Audio Jungle.
And I am back here on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1, same bat time, same bat channel. Again, you see it here at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as Twitter. Live every day. My IG, michael.carrasino.5. Also, YouTube. You can see it live on my YouTube channel, but go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, kids. And, you know, get it out to all sorts of Devils fans. As, again, we have more coaches, players, everything on. So if you missed the show live, you can go back and watch it. Or if you watch it live, great interview, you want to go back and watch it again, man, go back and watch it again. Hell yes. In this day and age where people, you know, binge watch shows again, you know, just because they enjoy them, I am aiming to let you, you know, enjoy Sun Devil Country. So nonetheless, but go to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat 005 at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe away, my friends. But yeah, I said when we got back, we would hear from we'll hear from the Coach Bloomquist first. Actually, no, we'll hear from Coach Bloomquist first about last night's game. Because like I said, he you know, like I said, they've won 5 in a row. And yes, they had to come back and do it. It was a walk-off. It was awesome. It was phenomenal. And Harris Williams delivered. I mean, he pinch hit. Brandon Compton pinch hit. And he was he didn't have an official at bat because as a pinch hitter, he drew 2 walks. And you'll hear the question I asked about, I asked Coach Bloomquist about, you know, that because, again, it's a team that drew, you know, 9 walks again last night, but they got guys across. I mean, they had 10 hits. All right. You know, that's at least 1 hit an inning. And, you know, some innings, obviously, no hits. But, I mean, 9 runs on 10 hits. Grand Canyon Bats woke up a little bit more, but 8 runs on 14 hits. Neither team had an error. I thought Grand Canyon had 1. Actually, I thought ASU had 1 too. But either way, whatever. ASU won the game. But you'll hear what I asked him. Obviously, Brandon Compton pinch hit, and he was up in the bottom of the 9th as well. But 2 walks for Brandon Compton, who, again, if you're gonna pitch to him, if he's gonna swing, he's making you pitch to him. So, yeah, that's. But you'll hear the question asked that. So, without further ado, again, yes, let's get to Sun Devil baseball head coach Willie Bloomquist after the 9-8 victory, putting the Devils above 500 and winning 5 in a row.
Obviously, this being a cross-town rivalry, and you guys coming off of a great week last week, what does this kind of a win say about the state of this program now that you guys are above 500 for the first time in 3 weeks, and where this program is now trending as it heads towards maybe its biggest series of the season this weekend?
I mean, I think great team win. You know, at the end of the day, a lot of guys contributed. A lot of guys pitched in and did their part. A lot of big moments, and you know, we got punched in the mouth and knocked down, but we bounced back. And to me, that's the important part. Is they continue to grind and continue to battle. And you know, we knew Grand Canyon's, they're good, man. You know, they're scrappy. They're going to come in and give us all they got. And you know, we had them down there through 4, but they were able to bounce back with a big grand slam by Crenshaw, and you know, and they put us on our heels. So, but our guys locked in and battled, and were able to get some base runners there in the 9th and come up with a big hit. So, didn't play great, but at the end of the day, you know, the team rallied together, and that was what was important.
But did you, with you guys falling behind in these last 4 games initially, and then being able to come back, how have you seen this group develop its callus over this recent stretch?
I mean, I think the great thing is, obviously we don't like getting behind, but the great thing is we know that we can come back on anybody, and if we get down, there's no quit, and we're going to keep coming back. So in order to, for tonight, the example, obviously getting the lead and then giving it up, and then having to bounce back again, that's a sign of a good team to win late and be able to come back after you've given up a lead and respond to it. So, you know, hopefully the mindset and mentality seems to start taking shape, and these guys are just playing hard. So that's all we can ask for.
How do you carry this kind of momentum and now 5 straight wins into playing against the number 5 team in the country on the road?
You know, I think it's the old adage, one game at a time. But as long as they continue, playing with confidence and understanding that you don't have to be pretty. You don't have to be, everything doesn't have to go perfectly in order for you to win a game. You can win ugly, and that's okay. Long as you keep grinding, keep battling, and playing, playing hard, which these guys are doing. And that's kind of what I told them in there after this is, hey, wasn't pretty, but it's a W, and you keep grinding, keep battling. It doesn't have to be pretty every night. Long as you continue playing the game the right way and keep playing hard, that's what we're about, and good things happen when you do that.
And what's the level of confidence going into that series, considering a good amount of trusted bullpen arms had to get used tonight?
I mean, I think we didn't overtax anybody, so I think that was good. I think it works out in our favor that we got him on the mound, kept him sharp, but we didn't overtax anybody. Adam Behrens, I think, was the only guy to throw a number of pitches that might not allow him to be available Friday. He threw 51 pitches. Everybody else was under 25. So, I mean, they got 3 days off before Friday, so everybody should be hot and ready to go on Friday.
Talk about the approaches and big moments at time for this team this season. Last 5 games hitting over 450 with runners in scoring position. What do you feel has been the adjustment for this team to get big hits?
Confidence. Baseball's crazy like that, and it gets contagious. I think when somebody breaks the ice and finally comes through with a big hit, and then the weight comes off everyone's shoulders, and they just relax and go play and get back to being the confident group that they are. So they play better when they're confident, and that confidence is rolling right now.
What is the confidence they necessarily have in the depth of this offense right now, considering the fact that you put out a lineup today that necessarily had a lot of guys who were necessarily maybe second or third on the totem pole in their positions, but then the 7th, 8th, and 9th, you put in maybe the regulars now in those pitch hit spots. Was that always the plan, or to put them in those positions, to put Tobias, Williams, and Compton in those situations, or how did you feel about overall the performances of guys like Fu and Newman and others?
Well, I think the plan going into the game, them starting a left-hander, I wanted to get some guys in the lineup that we're going to need in the second half. Trey Newman hasn't played a ton. We got to get him in some games. Lance has been fighting for some playing time as of late. With the way he's been swinging. Josiah Cromick, those are good players that we got to keep sharp somehow. And it's tough because every game is kind of a must-win game, and it's tough to take out some of your quote-unquote starters and put these guys in. But the facts are, we need to do that. I need to do that more often and shake things up, not only to keep them sharp, but also to remind our starters, hey, don't get too soft and complacent, because these guys can take your job and play as well. So, but I knew they were obviously going to start a left-hander and probably run a string of lefties at us. And once they ran out of lefties, then we were going to put our left-handed hitters in and against their right-handers. So, but the good news is that, what the plan was kind of, regardless of when they brought right-handers in throughout the game, I had pretty good left-handed hitters waiting on the bench for that right situation. So I knew it was a matter of time before that happened, and almost a little bit too late, but we were able to get it done.
What can you say about Brandon's at bat in the 9th? I mean, is it being the 9th inning, you having obviously played before, but not like over pressing and just taking the pitches and drawing that walk?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a lot of big at bats, and that was just another one. 2-0 pitch. I can't wait to see where that one was, because if that was down the middle, I'm like, man, that's your moment to shine, big boy. That's why you're in there. But the facts are, he didn't let the moment get too big for him. He stayed within himself and worked a walk. And Kian Vu came up with a big hit there, and a lot of good at bats. Mario DeMera, another good solid at bat, worked a walk, and obviously Harris came up with a big knock there. But a lot of great at bats throughout the night. Steven Andina, made mention to him that not trying to do too much. He started the rally in there in the 3rd with the walk, and then again in the 4th with the walk, and not trying to do too much. A couple of good base running reads on his part too. So, just little things like that. Continue to add little things up, and they equal a win.
What's the outlook on Thomas Burns being able to go on Friday after missing last week?
Most likely not this weekend. So he's gonna see another doctor tomorrow, and just kind of get a 3rd opinion on everything, I think, and everything looks structurally like it's fine. It's just an irritated bicep tendon that needs to calm down, and but we're probably going to be without him this weekend, unfortunately.
Who are you looking at for Friday? Just coming up. Do you know yet?
No. We were honestly trying to get through this game and see where we stood. Clearly I ran the kitchen sink out to try to win this game. Now we'll see. I think everybody should be available. We'll see what our best matchup looks like on Friday, and go from there.
Just kind of with the offense too. You guys got the 6-2 lead, and then a couple 1-2-3 innings, kind of back to back. How do you make sure the offense continues to be explosive and build on itself, and not kind of die out, kind of like it did in those middle innings?
Yeah, I mean, that's the challenge, right? It is just continue to try to put together good at-bats. We had base runners in those innings, I think, or maybe we didn't. I can't.
There's a few like 1-2-3s that kind of stack up.
Just try to continue to put together good at-bats, and that's how we kind of start coming out of this thing. Was hey, let's not worry about the results. Let's just worry about putting together good innings. And they're not always going to happen. I mean, those guys are over there competing and have good stuff too. So it's not always going to work the way you want it to. But as long as you keep grinding after it, hopefully at the end of the day you have more good at bats than not.
It seems like there's a pass the baton mentality when these big innings are happening. Obviously, at the bottom of the third, 9 batters came to play. What are you seeing when that's kind of happening, where it's just everyone's getting a hit after another and then kind of moving like that?
Well, I mean, I think when you look at how many home runs again tonight, it's just guys not trying to do too much. Stay within themselves, stay low line drives in the middle of the field, and take their walks when they need to, not trying to swing out of the zone, not trying to do too much. We're doing a much better job of laying off breaking pitches down, which has kind of been an emphasis as of late. So when you do that, you get better pitches to hit and you take more walks. So I think when you do that, you get more base runners and the line keeps moving, and opportunities keep presenting themselves. So I've been pleased with that as of the last several games.
Kean talked about how he comes to the yard every day expecting to get an AB. Just the mental preparedness as a group, from points where there has been a lack of mental focus. How have you seen with these new pinch hitters coming in these situations and being able to provide, as far as just like before the game, leading into the week, practice, mental preparation as a whole, to be able to execute at any given moment?
Well, I mean, it's tough to do, but I think at the end of the day, those are the expectations. Regardless, I continue to preach these guys, be ready for your opportunity, it's coming. A day like today, we used better majority of the roster today, in today's game. So everybody needs to stay ready and be ready at all times. And Kean has all but mastered that, or at least from the mental aspect of being ready to go, because he knows that he can be used in any outfield position, any pinch hitting moment, first base, pinch run. He's a weapon, whether or not he's starting or not, he's a weapon that we can use in a lot of different roles.
Have you noticed more of a, team buy-in through that aspect of everyone trying to play their part and not trying to do too much? I think everybody, I know everybody wants to play, and that's great. I want them to continue to want to play and have that mindset that they expect to play and want to play. But if they didn't want to play, then we might have to find another spot for them. But at the end of the day, there's a fine line between wanting to play and let that detract from the team concept, and just buying into what we're doing and saying, yeah, whatever you need today. So I think these guys have done a really good job, especially as of late. It's just saying, okay, whatever my role is, I'm going to do it the best I can today, and worry about tomorrow.
Statistically, the 2 best hitting teams in the conference matching up this weekend with you, Oregon State, with the momentum right now and how high the team is right now. Going into Oregon State, it was kind of had its lowest run of the season after a weekend loss to USC. How do you go into Corvallis and show this one of the best teams in the conference?
Stick to our guns and play our game. I think we'll be fine. Oregon State's they're good. They got good pitching. They got good hitting. They got leadoff hitters. Babe Ruth right now. Then if you throw him a strike, he's hitting a homer. So we already know that, and we know that what they're capable of doing. But we also know what we're capable of doing too. So we stick to our guns and play our game. I like our chances.
From the player accountability standpoint, how do you feel like that's improved through the homestand? Winning 5 straight. What are some things that maybe changed from that perspective?
I think the mindset is now we're expecting to get things done, right? And to me, some of that's accountability. Some of that is just, okay, guys, the expectations are, we're going to figure out a way to win. We're going to figure out a way we're going to figure out a way to get things done in the right situations here. So, Ethan Mendoza with a big knock today with 2 strikes and I think 2 outs. Figuring out a way to get on top of the baseball and shoot one up the middle. And those are big things. Base running, that we had today was outstanding. Nick McClain tagging on that ball that who hit that ball? Campy? Somebody hit one to deep left center. Nick came back and tagged on it and moved up and ended up scoring. Right? That's a big run. Even though we were still behind by 1, that's a big run. So just little things like that. On Dina freezing on the line drive that Mendoza hit, that shortstop made a heck of a play on. Like, we get doubled up on that ball if we're not paying attention, and that's an easy one to just keep going and think it's gonna fall in, but he froze and was able to get back. I mean, those end up scoring. So those are big, kind of not gonna show up in the box score plays that guys are starting to hold each other accountable and doing base running the right way, doing things the right way that ultimately lead to wins. So that part of it's going in the right direction.
You've talked about like the differences between what you feel with this team and when you were playing. Do you feel like you're getting closer to that, or is there still more work that needs to be done to get to where you kind of felt like it was when you were still playing?
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to be that old grumpy guy that says when I played it was better than when this played. So let me get that clear out of the way. But I do know that there's some pieces of the teams that I played on that work, regardless of what era you play in. And accountability is the main thing for me. And so I'm not asking these guys to have my personality or the personality of those teams. But you take things from successful teams in the past and you try to incorporate that type of culture that makes successful teams. And I think the biggest thing is expectations and accountability to those expectations. So again, these guys are doing a much better job of that.
On that note of accountability and not making excuses, you talked about over the stretch, the 2-strike hitting has significantly improved and not letting the umpire dictate the outcome of those at-bats. How have you seen this group kind of dictate their own outcomes?
I think, again, starting to play with a little bit more free and easy and confidence in themselves, trusting what the body work that they're doing throughout the week should prepare them and give them confidence to go into a game regardless of who they're pitching or who they're facing. So, and they're starting to have some success with it. So I think that's starting to breed a little confidence, and these guys are trusting what they're doing and seeing the results work. That if we have a better 2-strike approach or lay off the breaking balls down, that we're actually getting better pitches to hit and are able to put up runs with 2 outs and come up with big 2-out RBIs. So all that's kind of starting to fester and snowball a little bit.
Well, I heard him right there. I mean, well, again, a lot to get to after that game. But yeah, I mean, look, passing the bat, all that good stuff. And oh, Big 12, Bobby Hurley, you are that is very awesome. I like the questions. But no, as for last night's game, look, we did see the hits. We did see the passing of the bat. He talked about that. But, Brandon Compton did have a 2-0 pitch in the 9th where, it was a strike. Maybe he could have taken that. And like Coach said, to be fair, had to go back and look. But, he draws a walk. You put another runner on base. You just make it that much more stressful for the pitcher. And look, they were able to get the walk-off. And they needed 1 to force extras. And they and 2 to get the walk-off, and they got the 2. So but with what he said there, and again, talking about, his Brandon Compton's patience, but then also drawing the walk, and then, Nick McClain, there's the base running early on. Like base running, again, again, they weren't, bad news bears in it. But Big 12 Bobby Hurley. I said I would. He took over a program. He's an alum. Tracy Smith again had brought in, like, there were some talented players, but it just for some reason didn't gel with the consistency in the whole team. I mean, I know he had one. What was it, super regional? I think he had one super regional, and then one trip to Omaha, which they lost. They lost in the super regional. But yeah, so he's not going to comment on that. But you did bring a smile to my face with that, and the Barry Bonds question. Look, he's a Sun Devil. I mean, Reggie Jack. There's a lot of phenomenal Sun Devil baseball players. The tradition, the history. I mean, going forward, guys that have just played insanely phenomenal in the majors. Hey, I love the 86 Mets, but there's been a lot of documentaries on that team and the clubhouse. I really don't think that is going on there. I'm a legend. Come on. You're too kind. But the 86 Mets, the clubhouse, if you haven't seen, and a side note, if you haven't seen that 30 for 30, the 86 Mets, you need to watch, because it was it was burning the candle at both ends. And if the candle was three-dimensional, it'd be burning the candle at all three ends, whatever you want to say with that 86 Mets team. But the clubhouse is not like that. But yeah, I mean, look, these players, the talent was there, and a coach can say it, the player can say, "Oh, we just got to do this." But listen to Harris Williams, and obviously post-game presser. I'm going to play it right now. The players from yesterday, and Keegan Vu started, but then Harris Williams walks in with a very awesome fashion statement, and he explains it. I'll let him do it. But yeah, just again, their energy, and Keegan Vu's energy, and again, he talked about it the other day. I played it last week, but I talked about it last week. Sorry, that again, just being ready, taking those mental reps, and being ready to go. Even if you're pinch hitting and not starting, but in the lineup against Grand Canyon, and yeah, and his energy, his attitude, paying off, and that's knowing who his manager or head coach is, not a surprise. So without further ado, here is Keegan Vu to start us off, and then you'll see Harris Williams with this awesome fashion statement and Nick McLean jump on in.
Game, when Harris hits that ball in left center and it hits the ground, what are just the emotions running through you as you're just running the bases and you're just going through all that experience?
Yeah. I mean, at first I was tagging, so I was still locked in, but as soon as center field had no chance, and it split them perfectly. So as soon as it hit the ground, I was like, we did it. And I actually, for some reason, that ninth inning, I was like, there's no way we lose this game. So then as soon as it fell, I was just relieved, because I was holding my breath. But yeah, it fell, and yeah, here we are.
Take us through your at-bat, kind of setting the table for that walk-off in the ninth. What was your approach?
Hit a ball hard, and actually I didn't even hit the ball hard, but I was kind of looking fastball, and I got it a little in on the hands, and luckily it fell.
Harris coming in off the bench tonight, and obviously it was the second at-bat, the walk-off, but what was kind of the mentality of Willie preaches ball, stay ready kind of thing? Is that your mentality throughout the night, that your chance was going to come?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always looking for a way to help us win, so I find a chart to do, and that keeps me locked in during the game. And then, I figured I'd probably get in there at some point in this game, so try to stay loose, try to keep the arm loose and the legs hot. So yeah, I was ready, 9 innings before that at bat to come in.
Now 5. Go ahead.
Willie was talking about it this week, and you guys really back having fun, having a good time, really playing the kids' game a little bit. What was it feeling after a game like that to really feel like a kid?
It was awesome. It was a ton of fun. I mean, our coach just said it in there. There's really not another experience like it. The rush that you get when you come from behind and you win in the bottom of the ninth. That's what every little kid dreams of when they're playing little league with their dad or playing wiffle ball, is the walk-off ninth inning hit. So there's nothing really like it.
that the walk-off hard hat? What do we got there?
I think so. I don't know. I was told to put it on and wear it in here. So I think we're gonna probably keep it with us and make it a new tradition. I don't know.
I heard it's also the Homer hard hat.
right.
I didn't know.
So 5 in a row for you guys. Actually, what I've noticed, 5 in a row in these same uniforms. Are you gonna keep this going? How do you keep this going into Oregon State? Very good Oregon State team.
Keep wearing these uniforms, I guess. I heard we're bringing them on the road, so you'll get to see some black with gray pants.
Just as the kind of game kind of progressed, seems like in the first 3 innings, the offense was kind of moving and kind of stalled out. Was just kind of the mentality to make sure that it kind of comes alive at the end, to make sure it doesn't kind of die out like it kind of did in those middle innings.
You want to go back? You guys got it. Just stay with it. That's what I noticed, our hitters, especially from taking kind of a backseat view of our hitters. Everyone was just staying with it, continuing to put good ABs together. I'll point one out. Newman had 2 really good ABs, and nothing drops. That's kind of what we're looking for. Is it's not necessarily result oriented. We don't need 30 hits every game. We just need to keep striking the ball well. And he had two barrels today that I think really represent our offense well. It's like we're just going to keep coming out.
Nick, for you, started off the season at times a little frustrated with how you started. 9 straight games with an RBI. What has been the adjustment for you? Has it just been a little more time to get yourself in one box?
Yeah, I mean, I guess just seeing it over and over, getting the reps, I guess you could say. My hand feels really good too, so that helps. So, yeah.
Keenan, for a lot of the guys who are normally kind of necessarily second in their positions, people like yourself, Josiah, Trey, guys like that being in the lineup today, and then obviously with all the pinch hits coming later, how important is it, you feel like, for you guys kind of as a group who are usually sitting on the bench maybe most nights to kind of have this kind of a night where the offense really needed everyone to perform, and obviously yourself kind of being at the head of that, where you guys kind of, it really just showed just how really deep this offense was. Do you think that showed that tonight?
Yeah, no, I definitely think it did. And I think we're all of us are just waiting our turn, and as soon as we get into the game, our main objective is to produce. So it feels good, like results obviously, but I think for all the guys that are, I guess, second in their position or just waiting their turn, I know I am, and I think I can speak for all of them that they're hungry and they're gonna jump on that opportunity. So Josiah had a great game. He had a clutch. I think it was a double, right?
Yeah.
Huge double. And then Trey had barrels. Like, that's all you can ask for. So yeah, just getting our opportunities and making the most out of it and having fun.
What has been kind of your mentality as you kind of go through the season? There's been a lot of pinch hitting. I think it's only the second time you made consecutive starts. What is the mentality to kind of stay ready through that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm locked in the entire game, and I like being here. It's fun, so it makes being locked in a lot easier. So I'm just engaged with every pitch, and then as soon as I do, I kind of assume, like, each game, I go into each game assuming that I'm gonna get an AB eventually. So just being ready for that, and when my name's called, get a few dry hacks in and swing as hard as I can.
I think you had some family out there too for the game today, so just kind of how special was it to have that kind of performance with them on the stands?
Yeah, no, it feels great. They haven't gotten a chance to see too many of my starts, at least, and they're just watching a lot of the live streams, so it feels great that I have a little brother up there, so just kind of do something in front of him feels really good.
For a lot of the kids out here in Arizona, in the Valley, right, it's a matchup of the 2 biggest teams out here, right? So many kids that want to be in that spot, want to be in your guys' spot one day. What do you feel you guys hope you showed off today to kids that want to be a Sun Belt one day?
This is the best spot. I don't know. I hope that they see how much fun we're having and hopefully recognize that we're headed in the direction that we want to be in. Obviously, winning a couple games in a row, so I just hope that they see how cool this place is.
Kian, I'm curious, when Crenshaw hit that one off the top of the fence, what was kind of your mental process of knowing that you were going to have to make a beeline throw on the money to get the guy out of there?
I was just gonna try to catch it, I guess. Like right off the bat, I was like, oh, I might be able to get there. I was nowhere near it, and Nick said he thought it was a homer. But then I kind of had momentum going towards third base, I guess. So kind of just closed my eyes and threw it as hard as I could, and luckily it was right at Steven, and he relayed it perfectly. And I don't know why the replay took so long. I thought we hosed him.
They were reviewing if it was a home run, I think.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Because it bounced off the top of the ball
It did. It
and
kind of
rolled
cornered,
back.
like it hit that corner. Yeah, it was weird, but yeah, it didn't go out. So just I guess my momentum that direction probably helped me make a stronger throw.
Harris, as a fellow outfielder, can you kind of relate to this sometimes when you got to just hose a guy that you kind of just have instincts in that moment?
Yeah, a little bit, but Vu has a better arm than I do, so I
No.
bounced it over there. So I was glad it was him and not me. But yeah, I mean that was textbook. Doesn't give it. I mean we practice that every day. Like I said this to you guys over the weekend. A lot of what we do is, you guys see it and it looks good in game, but it's not one moment. It's an accumulation of reps that we've had, and I think that's the biggest thing to understand about this team is how every little thing we do matters, and how serious that we take those things seriously, and then we're able to celebrate wins like this. But it's not the walk off. It's not Mac having 3 hits or Vu having a good night. It's thousands of little things that we've been doing for weeks that have taken us to this moment.
He had some good throws too, actually. Some really impressive throws down the line.
Do you feel like kind of just for the team overall, it's been kind of a turnaround, obviously getting swept at Pullman, kind of rebounding here at Muni. Do you feel like kind of the team is paying more attention to the smaller details, or is there something else that's changed that has allowed for this to happen?
I don't want to say that we've changed. I think that we've just done everything better, right? So our practices have been better. Our practices aren't any different. We're still doing a lot of the same drills. We're still taking BP every day, but we're just doing it a little bit better. And now, that's the hardest thing with baseball is, like what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing and over again expecting a different result. Well, that's kind of what baseball is. We hound on the same things over and over again. Some weeks like Pullman, we come out short by I think a total of 4 or 5 runs in 3 games, right? But we keep hounding on those same exact things and then we sweep Cal, right? So you just got to keep going, and you got to keep your head down and kind of keep your nose in the dirt a little bit on the same little details, and the results are what they are. But if you keep hounding them, you'll set yourself up for success.
How does keeping that focus now go into a series where you guys have played a lot of tough teams this year, probably maybe no bigger than Oregon State, number 5 team in the country that Nick Key and you guys took 2 or 3 from here last year. What's kind of the approach to going into marquee matchup against some very good teams on the road?
I know we can definitely do a good job out there, and so I think it's just kind of like we have the lineup to do it and we have the bullpen to do it. So it's kind of just like I don't think it'll take much. Like I think we can go into the weekend, and if we play our best baseball, we'll come home feeling good about our time at Corvallis.
Just on that topic, Harris with the walk-off tonight, you guys were both there to witness Isaiah's walk-off grand slam last year against Oregon State. Kind of just reflect on that and what your guys were thinking as you saw that one leave the yard.
It was good. I mean, it was cool for Zay. It's pretty cool to do against Oregon State. I mean, they are one of the best programs in the country, and for him to did that as a freshman was pretty sweet to watch. So hopefully we can do that again in Corvallis. It's gonna be cold, but not as cold as Pullman, so it should be fun.
And there you see it. Harris Williams, Kean Vu, and Nick McLean. Well, I'd rather have his teammates answer the questions. But no, I mean, look, going to Oregon State, onward and upward. You get the 9-8 walk-off win. Of course, you celebrate it, enjoy it. But I like what Kean Vu said there. I mean, look, they know it's going to be tough. Oregon State's the number 5 team in the country. I said that. Like, you're not – it's not the program that they've built up, from the – I mean, if you go like the late 90s, and they just swept Gonzaga in a two-game series, did Oregon State. It beat Gonzaga 13-5 yesterday. But yeah, you look at Oregon State, I mean, 23-4 overall, 5-3 in conference play. Their arch nemesis in Oregon, who seemingly is not going to be their arch nemesis once, since Oregon looked out for themselves and ditched them and went to the Big Ten. But I'm not bitter, right? You Pitchfork lunchers know that, right? Not bitter at all. But yeah, I mean, real quick, like I said, Oregon is 6-3, Oregon State 5-3, Utah and that team down south are 7-5. USC is 6-5. Both Washington State, the Cougs, who swept the Devils, and the Devils are 6-6. Stanford is 4-5. Cal 5-7. Thanks to the sweep from ASU. Cal's 5-7. ASU leapfrogged them, and then UCLA is 4-8, and the Huskies are 3-6 in conference play. So, but yeah, you look at teams. I mean, already over 20 wins. Like I said, Oregon State's 23-4. Well, not over, but got to 20 wins. Oregon State's over, but both Oregon, who's 20-7, and Utah is 20-8. So yeah, baseball wise, again, it's gonna, it's it's going to be interesting. This conference is always just absolute money, and this is the part that sucks about losing it. And it was so awesome to catch up with Willie Bloomquist. Had him on the show. We were out at during the fall, but had him on the show, live from Phoenix Muni. He was gracious enough to come on with me and talk about obviously what going into this season. And but yeah, I mean, the ending of the Pac-12, the rivalries, I mean, it's one of those things where and look, when people say, oh, they're never going to play, it's the last time they play, like, you're just trying to add on to, yes, the frustration of some people, the annoyance, and just be, the over sensationalizing of it. They can play, they can choose to play. And I know we heard Coach Natasha Adair, the women's basketball coach, talk about, coaches talking about, maybe, I mean, they like to play, 2 games, but it's kind of tough to schedule the same team twice in non-conference. And who knows? Committee will probably shun on that one too, even though they're phenomenal rivalries. So, it's one of those things where, baseball wise, that, I mean, yeah, like, outside of, playing your rival, like, ASU playing that team in Tucson, well, USC and UCLA are still going to have that. Oregon and Oregon State aren't. Washington and Washington State, they can choose to, but again, the bitterness and, the frustration from Washington State and Oregon State, which is, and Oregon State. I mean, look, since the like mid to late, let's say like late 90s, early 2000s, I mean, ASU and Oregon State had some great battles, but Oregon State with their program, like, it just, again, got stronger and better and better and better and better. And I mean, it is a team that, oh man, I mean, they've plucked some guys here out of Arizona, as you know. So, anywho, no. I hope you can still hear me. I don't know. Oh my goodness. And of course it froze. Why wouldn't it freeze? Bear with me if you can hear me. I will be right back. Well, I lost a bunch of you, and that really sucks. Yeah, that really sucks. But nonetheless, I was wrapping up. See, I went to overtime, and for some reason, technology. Oh, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. Like, it's so competitive and frustrated because every time I think it's good, every now and then it just, yeah. So, anywho, but look, I mean, for the baseball team, number 5 Oregon State, I'll get to more of it tomorrow. I'll also talk a little bit more softball. As they get set to take on number 8 Stanford. So a big weekend for Coach Bartlett and the team as, again, the further you get in. I mean, they're all, once you start conference play, they're all big weekends. Let's not lose that. Let's not lose sight of that. But nonetheless, I'm going to get out of here. Again, thank you for joining me. Again, sorry about the little glitch. That's really frustrating. Tis very frustrating, to say the least. But nonetheless, got back on. So we'll do it. Glad you can join it. Glad you got to see everything. And I'll be back tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel, 12 to 1. Check me out. Again, you can hit me up at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter. You can see the show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1, a little bit of overtime. Sometimes if that just doesn't freeze in the technology universe. That being said, everybody have on Diablo00 on X, also my IG, michael.caratino.5, and the YouTube channel, Pitchfork Lunchers. You can go to Evans and Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat 005 at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe. So I'm going to get out of here. Again, very stoked for baseball, taking on number 5 Oregon State, went through the standings and all that good stuff. So anyway, have a great rest of your day. And I am going to play a little bonus for you because it is Wednesday. So we like to do it twice a week. So on the way out of here. But yes, I didn't forget, again, subscribe to the YouTube channel at Emmons and Michael V's and Victory Season Cat 005 at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe. But you get a little extra on the way out today because it is Wednesday. And of course, the best things are about Sun Devils. And yes, as always, I don't forget, forks up.
I'm from Arizona, Jerry. I broke Arizona records.
Rod.
I went to Arizona State.
Rod.
I'm a Sun Devil, man.
Terry's 3. Johnny Walker matching up against control. His shot. Bruce score. They score. They tie the game up 2-2. Some drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her 3 right on the money. This is Taya Hansen for 3. Other side of the rim with a pretty reverse. Wow. 5 seconds.